We're live.
And go.
You need to put your headphones on.
I'm working on it.
You need to get your shit together this morning.
I can't.
I know. We would have been on time for once, but Megan was lollygagging.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean, oh me? Oh, I turned all this on. I did all this.
12 o'clock is when we go on. You said later.
I said 12:30. I
Not
wasn't
me.
going to go on until later this afternoon.
We have an appointment this
I
afternoon.
know we were into it after. But Megan started doing the Megan thing. Being the Megan.
Bruh.
Doing the Meg. Doing the Meg.
Mm, okay.
Doing the Meg. All right. I'm still tired.
Mm-hmm.
Don't, You wanted to be here right now this early, so we're here. You shh. Don't tell me what to do.
Turn your volume down.
I don't understand what changed about our camera angle because I can like see my leg.
I know. It's been bothering me the last like 3 videos.
What? What happened here?
I don't know. What'd you do? Huh? I didn't touch it. It's been bugging me.
Let me see if I can fix it. I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't like anything. First off, it needs to.
Technical difficulties, friends. Excuse us. I can definitely see the pooter. Yeah.
Oh God, I almost fell.
No falling. It's still in the same spot. Yeah, it needs to go like up, more up.
I can't.
That's a little better.
I want it to see us. I just don't want it to be all the way at my legs.
Well, I can see my legs.
It keeps locking in the same spot.
Maybe go through the program. I don't know.
All that does is give you straight on. That doesn't give you up and down.
My bad. We're having technical difficulties. Excuse us. Trying to fix our camera. That's way better.
Then it goes right back.
It definitely went right back down. Can you scoot you forward, maybe? Like the whole thing?
Yeah, it has. It's like it's. It clicks into a certain position.
Yeah.
Any better?
It's just like, oh, yes, that's better. Kind of.
It's made no difference.
A little bit.
No, I'll work on it later.
We're back.
Okay. Let me see.
We're still technical workings on things. Ooh.
See, because if I do this, it's gonna take us all. It's gonna take us out,
Right.
but it's gonna take forever to see. Oh no. Oh, because I had it in wide shot.
Yeah, it's way better.
I didn't change this though. This should have been,
Was it the ghost?
this should have, no, for real, this should have been in here like this the whole time.
Well, the last like 3 or 4 videos, it's been the other way.
I know.
So I don't understand. It's weird.
Oh, it's too close.
I know. I can move it back.
No, hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me, I might be able to just adjust it here. You know,
Yes.
this sucks.
I don't why. It's a wee bit better.
And then I have to like wait.
Mm-hmm. To see it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can't go into camera view on here.
Yeah.
I think that's better. There we go. All right.
Yeah, it's better.
I know.
Good job, babe.
Now I have to bring this up. I don't know if I'm getting sick or it's allergies, but I don't feel right this morning.
Hmm. Sorry.
We did Rocky Point. We're gonna do. I'm sorry. Say hi now.
What? I can't read that.
It's just gonna be a day of issues, I guess. You gotta be kidding me right now. It says it was moved.
Moved where?
I don't
Hmm. Our file is missing. Mhm.
know. Nothing's there. So where did this one go?
I don't know.
It doesn't even say where it was moved to.
Maybe go into like computer documents and see if it's like in there somewhere. I don't know. That's weird.
This happened on this computer once. I think this is like an issue with Word because I
It's
have
just
had
like
this happen, but it's been a long time.
picking and choosing to kick stuff out. Like, I don't understand. Hey, Jodo Tay Tay.
What's going on?
Hello. We're having technical difficulties on multiple levels. Excuse us.
Yeah, it's I have to find a file. It's the today's episode.
It completely kicked it out of Word. And then we were having computer weirdo things happening. Ah,
Well, it moved the computer like moved the file of everything I wrote, and I have no idea where it is. All right, I guess maybe that one's just not going to happen right now
hmm.
because I have no idea.
Old people problems. Computer problems,
Yeah,
maybe.
this is a computer issue.
Because he definitely wrote the episode. I see it in there, but it's not opening. It's just saying it's nowhere. Hmm.
That was helpful.
Yeah, it's just nowhere.
I don't even remember how I found it the last time. It was like 2 years ago that this happened.
I don't know. That's super weird.
I guess we'll just have to skip over it and I'll have to.
He's being very calm for the camera because he is internally freaking out.
I'm not freaking out. I don't feel good.
Mm.
We'll just do this one instead. I'd be more pissed off if I didn't have another episode written.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, we're doing an episode today.
Yeah, it's
So
Wednesday.
when we start, we will not be doing the chitty chat, but we will talk to you guys after. So basically, recording an episode right now.
Yeah, I'm calm-ish. I mean, I'm pretty pissed off about it, but I don't feel good this morning. I don't know if it's allergies or because I've been sneezing all morning
You have like a lot.
and I feel extra tired this morning. I mean, we did go up in the mountains last night or
Yeah,
yesterday, and I was in the sun for hours.
this is true.
Um, I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff blowing around up there too.
I feel real off today. It's fine though. I'll be all right. I'll be good. Just a little. Bleh. Um, Most definitely, I'd be throwing stuff. Normally, I would too. I'm not a calm person. I am a very irritable, a very high-strung individual.
No.
I am. I know I am. But it is what it is. I mean, what am I going to be? I can't do anything about it.
Except look for it later. But
Yeah.
we do have a backup episode,
Yeah,
so
like I said,
bonus.
if I didn't have this backup episode, I'd be a furious. I
I
would
know.
be so mad.
I know.
I think this is the better of the two anyway. So
Yay.
it's not. This is like the one I was waiting to get to. Like this one's kind of an interesting story.
I'm excited.
I can't curse like a sailor on here. I mean, I could, but
We try not to.
I mean, I let one slip every once in a while.
Yeah.
We went from
And just let it slip
PG to PG-13, I guess. It's hard not to, because like in my day-to-day life, I do
all the
curse.
time.
I cuss like a sailor.
Me too.
So it's hard to. I mean, you can hear throughout the years, like I catch myself.
It's natural, you
It's,
know?
I, I'm was a kid from the '80s, dude. Of course I cuss a lot, dude. Like how? It's just what it is.
I come from a house that doesn't, so I feel like I overcompensated when I was able to.
In Megan's family home, saying something like "stupid" was a cuss word.
And now it is in our home for our kids too.
I don't know how.
I don't either.
It
Because
yeah.
we talk how we want to talk.
I'm not gonna censor myself.
And we just, we tell them that it's not a nice word or, you shouldn't call people that. And now it's,
They straight up think stupid and shut up and like idiot. They think those are cuss words.
yes, they know the really bad words
Yeah,
for sure. We let them say the F bomb once
so they could get it out.
so they could get it out. And they were like, are we going to get in trouble?
No, you
It
get
was
one.
was a whole thing.
It was funny,
It was hilarious.
but our kids don't. I've never caught our kids cussing. One kid thought "damn" was okay to say.
Yeah. And he just said it so naturally. And we were like, what?
Yeah, yeah. We had to be like, "You're not allowed to say that."
It was really funny.
I want to know how this works because, like, when I watch on my phone to "Hello Parasolo,"
Hello.
when I watch these to read the chat on my phone, it always says there's nobody in here.
Yeah.
It's like every device that we will have open to watch the chat always has, they all have a different number
Says something
of how
different
many
all the
people are
time.
in here.
Yeah. And then when we like exit out
We can see how many people are actually
on the
in.
main computer,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's so stupid.
it's very strange.
Uh, I have a headache. I'm not doing good this morning.
I'm sorry.
I do not feel right. But what's everybody up to? We're gonna give it a minute and then we'll jump into this episode.
Yes.
What's everybody up to today? Anything good? I know.
We have an appointment
Yeah, I
later.
was gonna say that's what we got lined up.
Yeah. And then nothing else. I don't think. Right?
I had to work out.
Doing some laundry. Super fun.
I wanted to get my workout in before we left, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Probably not. The hottest part of the day, you get to go in the garage.
Yeah,
Yay.
it's gonna be great.
We don't really, I mean, if we wanted to, we could drag all the workout equipment down here,
I'm not doing that.
but it's so heavy.
I don't know if the big machine would.
Fit down here?
Yeah, we'd have to take it all the way apart.
Yeah, that sounds
And
miserable.
I've already had to figure out how to put it together once before because of the movers.
Yeah, idiots.
Oh man, the move out here it was stressful.
It was awful. It was terrible.
They broke all our stuff. They took all our stuff apart and then just left it in pieces, and I had to figure out how it all went together.
I made them stay and put the bunk beds together.
We fought with them the whole time.
Oh, it was terrible.
It was insane.
They were like, "Oh yeah, your stuff will be there in 2 weeks."
They
31 days later, we got our stuff.
I know all about it, Ben. I know all about it.
Hmm.
I worked outside in Florida for 20 years, man.
Yeah, long time.
Shoveling granite, and I remember my last job there. I was spraying chemicals, and I had to be in pants, long sleeves, rubber gloves, rubber boots all day long, and it was brutal.
Hmm. And a truck with no AC.
In a truck with no AC. That's right. That's a real Florida work truck right there.
Yeah.
I know about it, dude. It sucks. I mean, it gets hot here too. It does get hot here.
It's just not muggy.
It's not humid.
Yeah.
There's no humidity, but it actually gets hotter here
Yeah.
than it does in Florida.
Like temperature wise,
Yes,
but it's a dry heat.
because a lot of the days in the summer will be 105 plus,
Hmm.
but it feels like 80 in Florida
Yeah.
because there's actually we've had days where we get warnings that there is so little humidity.
Yes. It's so weird.
What was it like? It was 113 with 15% humidity.
Yeah. It's so
It is very
strange.
dry.
It is.
It and
And then
it
we get, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it does mess with you.
Yeah. And then during almost, I think like a month from now in like July, we'll start getting pollution warnings
Yeah.
because we're
It's
so high up.
what do they call that? It's some kind of thing where it gets like trapped in the atmosphere.
Because we're so in such high elevation, pollution just like rises and then gets stuck in the clouds basically, and it just lingers over. It's crazy.
Yeah, it lasts for like a day or two and then it goes away.
Yeah. And
It
last
it's when
was it
there's no
last year?
wind.
Yeah.
You need the wind. It has a name and I forget what it's called.
Was
Like,
it last year we got the warning when the kids were in
hmm
school and they like came over the intercom and were like, if you can, be in a car or if you're walking, walk home quickly, cover your face.
yeah,
Like,
they were
it was
straight up.
wild.
They were straight up like, do not take your time and hang out. Go home.
Yeah. And then we were like, oh, no big deal. And then we made it a quarter of the way, which literally is across the street is the school. And we were all dying. My lungs hurt so
Yeah,
bad.
I forget the name of it, but there's a name for it,
I don't know. I don't remember what it is
and
either.
I forget what it's called. But there's an actual name for what happens when it gets trapped up in there and it doesn't move. But it doesn't move, and it just sits there.
It's uh, like a yellow smog
It
almost
is smog.
in the air.
It's
It's weird.
straight up pollution. It's gross. But it's like car exhaust and pollen, basically.
It just gets trapped and it's very concentrated.
Yeah, it sucks, and you can
Hmm.
smell it.
You can
It
smell it.
stinks.
It does. It's so strange.
Um, all right. Looks like our base audience is here for us right now. So, um, I'm gonna mute this out, and I think we're gonna go ahead and do this.
All right. Starting the episode. We will talk to you guys after.
All right, here we go.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to For the Booze.
For the booze.
That's right.
We are back with not the episode that I thought we were going to be getting today, unfortunately. But I
Unfortunately,
really did try, but it says that it can't find it. I don't know where it is.
it's lost in the computer
I
verse.
don't understand why it's showing up in Word,
I don't,
but it's gone.
yeah. It's in the list, but you open it and it's
It,
not. It said it got moved.
it's missing.
I don't know. Weird.
It should. We'll throw it up on a milk carton and see if anybody can find it. If you're old enough, you'll get that reference.
Oh,
But
that's so funny.
we are going to do arguably the more interesting one anyway. So it's a win.
I'm
It's
excited.
it's not, it's not a loss. And we're going to talk about a place called the Owl's Head Lighthouse.
A
Okay,
lighthouse.
and this is in one of my favorite states. It's in Maine.
Oh, lighthouse in Maine?
Lighthouse out in the middle of nowhere, Maine.
I love lighthouses. They're
Middle
amazing.
of nowhere, Maine.
I've never been to Maine, but I want to go. 100% I want to go.
It's got a cool little story. I mean, this has children, ghosts, history, and a hero dog.
Oh, no.
A dog who was a legitimate hero and saved a life.
I will take a paranormal puppy
It's not
hero
paranormal.
story any day,
It's not paranormal. It's just a dog.
but it's in a paranormal story.
Yeah, but he's a dog.
So
He's
excited.
not a dead dog. Well, he's probably dead now, but
Oh,
it was a
why do
long,
you have to say that?
it was a long time ago.
Mm.
If he's not dead, you probably want him to be dead. He'd be walking around like bones exposed or something. A zombie
Oh,
puppy.
oh.
Yeah. Do you think they'd want to eat your brains, or do you think they would just want like, I don't know, like your leg? How does a zombie dog work?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Does it eat?
I don't
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's something to ponder.
Yeah.
But let's get into the story. It is an interesting story. It's kind of, it goes all over the place.
Yeah.
Owl's Head is actually a town in Knox County, Maine. I've never heard of this county, by the way.
Really?
The population was 1,504 in 2020. It's small.
Wow.
1,500 people is tiny.
That is
That is a
so tiny.
tiny town.
Yeah.
A resort and fishing area, the community is home to the Knox County Regional Airport. It includes the village of Ash Point. This whole area is tiny,
Oh my God.
tiny. Maine's not even really that big of a
It's
state.
not. It's a very small state.
Now, when Samuel de Champlain explored Owl's Head in 1605, the Abenaki Native Americans, I refuse to say that,
I see that.
called it, uh, I'm going to give it my best here, but Debedek Point, meaning Cape of the Winds. Mariners would name it for the shape of the promontory, which they thought resembled the head of an owl.
Okay.
So it's like an above head,
Super
above
cool.
you if you look down.
Super cool. I love that.
Now, first incorporated as part of Thomaston in 1777 and then as part of South Thomaston in 1848, Owl's Head was itself set off and incorporated on July 9th, 1921. The town is home to both the Owl's Head Light Station, which is a 30-foot tall granite lighthouse built in 1826 to mark the southern entrance of Rockland Harbor, and to the Owl's Head Transportation Museum.
A
That's
granite lighthouse?
Transportation Museum.
Fancy. Oh my
Man, that
goodness.
sounds boring. Now, Owl's Head was home to an electric trolley line that traveled to Crescent Beach. It was started in 1902 and it ended in the years of somewhere between 1917 and 1918,
Okay.
largely due in part to a deadly accident in 1914, in which a train left the tracks, killing one woman instantly and injuring several
Oh
others.
my God.
Ashley's of Rockledge,
Yep.
all over. You
Wow.
can't have trolleys and train lines in the
It's
past.
it's so scary.
It
Like it
is.
just derailing thousands and thousands tons weight,
Yeah.
just barreling. Oh my God, it's terrifying.
Anywhere there's a train system before modern era, lots of people died.
Yeah,
It always
it's so
happens.
scary.
In August of 1940, sometime around the 13th, the English composer Benjamin Britten completed his diversions for piano and orchestra OP 21 while staying at the Owl's Head Inn, coincidentally meeting up with Kurt Weil. I don't know who any of these people are, whom he got along with very well. So we have composers and whoever this, I don't know who these people are. I'm not going to pretend to be smart today. I have
Okay.
no idea. Probably a writer, I would imagine, or something to that effect.
Okay.
I'm not sure. You can tell I'm feeling off. Now, on August 22nd, he wrote from Owl's Head to Elizabeth Mayer, quote, "We eventually made Promaquid Point, but found the place most disappointing, not on the sea and full of the most terrible Bostonian old ladies that we left after one gloomy night."
Oh, they were like, yeah, this sucks. We're out.
You know,
All right.
peop people from Boston get a bad rap, dude. I don't
They
know
do.
why,
They
dude.
do.
Bothers me.
Hmm.
They're pretty good people.
Okay.
He goes on to say, then we came on here, which is a grand spot, very unpretentious, but quiet and right on the sea. We can work, and there are tennis courts nearby. It is too cold to bathe, unfortunately, but there is plenty else to do. So when they came upon this spot, they loved it.
Okay.
So
I
they,
mean, I bet it's right on the sea, super quiet. You listen to the
yeah,
waves.
and it's
I could see
tiny.
that.
It's
Yeah.
tiny, quaint. People were super humble and nice.
Heck yeah.
The Owl's Head Lighthouse was built in 1825 for $2,707.79 on 17.5 acres of pine covered headland on the south side of the entrance to Rockland Harbor. Even though the conical rubblestone tower was quite short, only 15 feet tall, its light could be seen for 16 miles due to its elevated location atop the rocky headland. This is like
That's how much it costs to build a lighthouse.
in 1825.
It doesn't
Yeah, but
seem
if you
like,
break that down, that's
I mean,
probably like 50 to $100,000 today. It's a 15
still.
it's a 15-foot tall lighthouse though, Megan.
Oh, okay.
That's what I just read.
Okay.
Because it's up on a hill.
It looks taller and
No,
bigger and
no, no, it still looks small. But it's up on a hill, so you don't need it to be super tall because it's already over
can be
everything
seen.
else.
Yeah.
You know, you could have probably just put a light up there and people would have saw it
Hmm.
because it's so high up. I believe I don't know if they've made it taller since, honestly. Now, President John Quincy Adams and Stephen Pleasanton, fifth, that's not how you spell Stephen either. Just want everybody to know Stephen is spelled with a V.
That it is.
Fifth auditor of the Treasury responsible for lighthouses locked horns over who would be Owl's Head's first keeper. As the position was a political appointment, the president won, and the War of 1812 veteran Isaac Stearns was appointed keeper at an annual salary of $350. Once on her way to trim the wick, Stearns' wife Lucy was tossed from the summit and nearly into the sea by a strong gust of wind.
Oh my God.
$350 a year.
That's
But again,
eh,
back then it's different, but you're also living for free.
right. You have no rent, mortgage, no
Exactly.
nothing like that.
You get to
So,
live there for free,
yeah,
so
I don't know.
uh I don't know, it seems like a deal.
I guess
There has to be a reason, people want to live there.
be
It's
in
and
it.
it's nice. It's
Yeah,
really
I
nice.
bet. I bet it's beautiful.
In 1831, Captain Derby of the revenue cutter Morris wrote, quote, "Owl's Head Light is the most miserable one on the whole coast, and I'm fearful it will not stand till spring." He approved of the keeper, noting that the house was neat, and, quote, "The keeper and his wife, to all appearance, are excellent people."
Hmm.
So they were liked.
Yeah.
Despite repairs, the condition of the lighthouse was no better in 1842. Inspector I.W.P. Lewis, why would you
What?
do that?
What?
Wrote that the interior of the tower was covered with ice in the winter and was, quote, "in a filthy state." Now, the tower roof leaked, the lantern had broken panes of glass, and the reflectors were out of alignment. The house was in a comparable state.
Oh,
So it,
doesn't seem that great to live there
I
now.
mean, that's what, 11 years ish.
Yeah,
So it's apparently fallen to the wayside. I would imagine that this is an older couple too.
I'm sure.
Keeper Penley Haynes confirmed the report, adding, quote, "The lighthouse contains a fixed light of 8 lamps with 14-inch reflectors. The tower stands on the summit of Owl's Head, which terminates in a sharp pointed rock, sloping steeply down to the sea 90 feet below. The distance from the dwelling house to the tower is 120 feet up a sharp ascent, which during winter I find very difficult and even unsafe in heavy storms." Unquote. Now, despite Lucy Stearns' accident and Haynes' complaint, it took till 1874 before a set of walkways and stairs linked the dwelling with the light.
Wow.
Dude, so
So
they
just trucking through
rocks.
rocks and mud and
Yeah,
ew,
snow, ice.
that
Yeah,
sucks. That sucks so bad.
it would definitely make the job a lot harder.
Yeah.
Now, keepers were required to treat visitors with respect, but were to prevent them from touching the lighthouse apparatus and leaving their mark. In an 1845 inspection report, collector John Anderson wrote that he, quote, found Owl's Head in good condition except the glass in the lantern. Several planes were cut and scratched by visitors' names.
Mm.
We're talking about 1845 graffiti.
Vandalism.
Man, we've been trying to tag stuff for over 100 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, the keeper was instructed to, quote, knock out these panes and set new glass, unquote. He was given a warning that if such behavior was reported, it, quote, would be good cause for removal. You're
Mm.
the lighthouse keeper.
Yeah.
It is your job to prevent this stuff and, stop people from doing it.
Yeah.
The lighthouse serves especially during this time, it serves such a big purpose. A
Absolutely.
lot of people before lighthouses were dying from crashing into the rocks. So
Yep.
they need these lighthouses to proper or to function and to function properly.
Yep. I mean, there's goods and all that being shipped over, and then you think like, oh, can't see anything. You basically run into a wall, crash, everything sinks, like, and then that puts kinks in
Especially
living.
in a harbor community, this is probably how all of your stuff comes in.
Absolutely.
You need this to work and you need it to work right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important. Now
And it's
keep
important to keep it properly working.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Keeper Haynes was not given a boat, but was required to travel 3 miles by land to get supplies. And although he had a good well, it was frequently run dry by ships landing to replace their own water supplies.
What?
Yeah. So the
What?
ships would come and, they would just use everything from their well.
Oh, that sucks
Yeah.
so bad
Because then you have to trek 3 miles by land and
for water.
there's no cars yet
Nope.
and you don't have a boat.
Oh
You
God.
got to walk. And
Oh
then you got to
God.
walk it back.
Mm-mm.
Now,
No thanks.
in 1850, an inspection report recommended that a new tower and lantern be supplied and noted that, quote, large props, unquote, had been put up to support the western wall of the keeper's dwelling. A quote, one of the most terrible storms we have ever witnessed, wrote the Lime Rock Gazette. such that's such a great name, I guess.
Super.
Hit Rockland on December 22nd, 1850. A small schooner set anchor in the harbor early in the storm, and its captain went ashore, leaving on board Richard B. Ingraham, the mate, Roger Elliott, a crewman, and Lydia Dyer, Ingraham's fiancée. Now, as the storm intensified, the schooner was torn from its mooring and dashed onto the rocks near Owlshead Lighthouse. The schooner's 3 occupants huddled close together and pulled blankets around them for warmth and protection. As the schooner was breaking up, Elliot sought help by going to the shore. The keeper, who was out driving his sleigh, spotted Elliot and took him to the lighthouse to revive him. Nearly unable to speak, Elliot pled for help to be sent for Dyer and Ingraham. A search party was organized, and the two were discovered encased in a block of ice formed by the spray.
Oh my God.
This gets more
What?
this gets more interesting. Now, although the couple appeared to be dead, the rescuers refused to give up. They chipped off the ice and put the man and woman in cold water. Bit by bit, they increased the temperature and massaged and exercised the pair's limbs. After nearly 2 hours, Dyer actually showed signs of life.
What?
An hour later, Ingraham opened his eyes and asked, what is all this? Where are we? It took months for the couple to regain their health, but Elliot never fully did. Dyer and Ingraham went on to marry and raise 4 children.
Stop. They
Dude,
freaking lived?
so 2 of them, yeah.
Stop
And they
it.
went on to have children and live a life.
Bruh. That
That's an incredible story. Could you
what?
imagine telling your kids and grandkids this story?
Like we weren't supposed to be here.
We were in a block of ice.
Oh my God.
It's
That
crazy.
is insane.
When I read that the first time, I was like, "This is truly an amazing American tale."
Wow.
It's
That's
true
intense.
perseverance.
Oh
It's
my
amazing.
God.
Now, in 1852, a round 24-foot tall tower, built of, quote, the best hard burnt brick, unquote, replaced the original dilapidated stone tower. And in 1854, a new 1.5-story wood frame keeper's dwelling was built. A fourth order Fresnel lens took the place of the array of lamps and reflectors in 1856. And we've talked about lighthouses before. They're
Hmm.
very intricate
They are
and
incredibly.
and they're very sensitive, especially back in these days. Like
Yeah.
you have to keep them tip top.
But
Or
at least they're working on it now,
yeah, yeah,
making
yeah.
it better. I like it.
You know, 30 years later. In 1869, a small bell to be sounded as a fog signal was attached to the porch of the lighthouse. Then, in 1879, a larger fog bell operated by Stevens' striking machine was installed in a wooden pyramidal tower situated 100 feet from the lighthouse. So they're expanding,
Okay.
they're upgrading,
I like it.
they're making it better, you know.
Like,
So,
like 10 more years later.
yeah, it's slow going, but it's
It's
happening.
it's it's going. We're doing it.
Every 7 hours or so, the keeper needed to turn a large crank to wind up the weights used to power the striking mechanism. When visibility was low, the bell rang every 15 seconds and nearly deafened everyone nearby.
Oh,
It's a huge bell.
God. I would not want to live there.
Now, a modern striking machine fabricated in the Lighthouse's Board's machine shop in Boston replaced the Stevens striking machine in 1902. The new machine was one of several fabricated using the same pattern and with interchangeable parts. The striking machines obtained from private manufacturers varied in dimensions and didn't have interchangeable parts, making it troublesome to maintain them. A new wooden bell tower was also built in 1902.
Okay. Still upgrading,
It's
still making
it's
stuff.
always being upgraded.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
lighthouse.
Well, it went so long with nothing.
I know.
It's crazy.
The keeper's dwelling received a pump and piping for water in 1880,
Hey.
and in 1894 an oil house was erected. Also in 1894, the lighthouse tender Myrtle delivered materials for a boathouse and a boat slip, and these structures were built on the beach northwest of the dwelling. In 1898, quote, a boundary fence was built to enclose the whole reservation, unquote, and a telephone line connecting the station with Owl's Head Village was paid for with an appropriation for national defense, prompted by the outbreak of the Spanish American War.
Okay.
So this thing is sort of coming into the modern age, but could
Yeah.
you imagine before like piped water came out, you had to go outside to do all this stuff that required water. You I, this just seems so hard.
It's it seems like a rough job. A rough job. And then imagine like slowly starting to get these amenities that we take for granted
If
now.
you want to call it that.
Water, oil, phone. And then you got like a fence to keep things out because I'm sure lots of things, animals and such, kind of roamed everywhere. And
There's a war breaking out too, you know.
yeah,
So like, I mean, you're all the
terrifying.
way in the north. I don't know how far the effects of this war would have been felt, like how far north.
Mhm.
Because you're in Maine, like you're way up there.
Right. That's literally the tippity top.
But I mean, this place went through a lot of stuff, which
Yeah.
means it would have also been through the Spanish flu epidemic,
Yep.
epidemic. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's seen a lot of stuff, but it's also so far out of the way. It's almost like protected by itself.
Hmm.
In 1903, a covered way about 60 feet long was placed over the stairs linking the oil house and lighthouse, and 3 years later, it was extended about 100 feet to reach the dwelling. The covered way was actually removed around 1932 after the lighthouse had been electrified. So it has electricity now.
Okay. And electricity? We're
In
going places.
1932,
Going places.
local citizens wrote newly elected Senator Margaret C. Smith in 1949 in an attempt to get the covered way rebuilt, but Joseph F. Farley, Commandant of the Coast Guard, nixed the idea saying that as a the keeper no longer had to make treks to the tower during the night to mine the oil lamp, the covered passage, which was expensive to maintain, was unnecessary.
Mm,
Which
okay.
I kind of agree with. I mean, if you don't have to go out there anymore, well, it's fine.
Right.
What do you need it for?
Right.
So when I first read it, I was like, "Oh, what a bad guy." But now that I think about it, I'm like, "Well, you don't really need it,
No.
so it's fine." In 1916, keeper Charles F. Chester was recognized for assisting two fishermen whose launch struck a ledge near the station and was in danger of sinking. Now, after helping the men to the station, keeper Chester furnished them food, shelter, and clothing.
Oh.
What's their job?
Yeah.
This is what they do. Keeper Chester came to Owl's Head Lighthouse in 1911 after having served the first 18 years of his lighthouse keeping career at Crabtree Ledge Lighthouse. He had spent more than 2 decades as a mariner before entering the lighthouse service. On February 26, 1923, Keeper Chester and his wife, Mary Ellen, celebrated their golden wedding anniversary all alone at Owl's Head as a snow and ice blockade preventing friends and family from reaching the station. Keeper Chester retired later that year, and Alan C. Holt took charge of the lighthouse. Now, one thing I will say is there have been a ton of keepers for this place.
Like a lot, a
Yeah, like
lot.
a lot.
Because I know that a lot of lighthouse keepers, they tend to stay for quite a while.
Well, another thing is too is like most of these guys that are being appointed as lighthouse keeper they're old.
Hmm.
These guys are after their war services and stuff like that. So there is kind of like a shelf life for a lighthouse keeper.
Yeah. Well, I would assume so. It's a rough job.
Well, you can't
It's a
stay out
lot.
you can't stay out there forever on your own at that age. You will have to come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
A famous life-saving resident of the station was Spot, a Springer Spaniel owned by Augustus Gus B. Hamer, keeper at Owl's Head from 1930 to 1945. Now, Gus's daughters, Pauline and Millie, taught Spot to pull the rope to ring the fog bell,
Is this the dog?
obviously.
I'm so excited.
Whenever a vessel passed by, Spot would ring the bell and receive the sound of a bell or horn from the ship in return. As Spot's favorite visitor was the mailboat skippered by Stuart Ames, who always brought a special treat for him, Spot came to recognize the sound of his boat engine. Now, once, when a terrible snowstorm blew in, the snowbanks muffled the sound of the bell. During the thick of the storm, Spot scratched to be let out and raced to the shore where he barked loudly and incessantly. It wasn't long until the sound of the mailboat whistled was heard in reply. Captain Ames had heard the barking and was able to figure out his position, which saved him from crashing into the rocky promontory.
Oh my God.
So the dog not being able to hear the boat that he's so used to,
Yeah.
uh, just kind of knew to go out there and just carry on so loudly until the
Somebody
boat heard
paid
him.
attention. Yeah. Oh
Well,
my
that's pretty
God.
incredible
He's
because most
amazing.
dogs would have just went and laid down and, licked his butt.
Not Spot.
I'm just so Spot literally saved that guy's life.
I love that so much.
Now, George Woodward replaced Hamer as keeper in 1945, and the next year, a photographer would capture images at the station. Keeper Woodward cleaning an emergency lamp in the lantern room, Hazel Woodward cutting her husband's hair, and Sheila Woodward brushing her teeth while her mom pumped water into a tea kettle. So these are the first like real pictures of this place.
Okay.
Now, Archiford V. Haskins, who served at Owl's Head from 1947 to 1953, was the station's last civilian keeper. And in 1953 was one of just two civilian keepers in Maine. The rest were all Coast Guard keepers.
Mm.
Haskins began his lightkeeping career as an assistant at Boston Lighthouse in 1927 and was then in charge of Great Point Lighthouse and Sankati Head Lighthouse on Nantucket before arriving at Owl's Head. Marla Haskins Rogers was born at Great Point Lighthouse and spent much of her childhood at Owl's Head, where the family shared a two-seater outhouse up until 1950 when the dwelling was finally plumbed. Who the hell would want to sit next to each other and do that?
Not me.
A two-seater outhouse. That
No, thank
sounds
you.
gross.
Nope. I like being alone when I am in the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
In March 1949, 14-year-old Barry Haskins, Marla's older brother, was walking home with two friends after attending a movie in Rockland when he was struck and killed by a 19-year-old driving under the influence.
Mm,
Marla and her husband lived in Owl's Head for many years and loved to volunteer at Owl's Head Lighthouse and the main lighthouse museum in Rockland. So, boom, we have deaths that happen here.
yeah.
Owl's Head was then automated in 1989, but Coast Guard personnel continued to use the keeper's dwelling as a residence. In 2007, the Coast Guard leased the tower to the American Lighthouse Foundation, or the ALF, which has proved to be a capable caretaker.
Okay.
During the summer of 2010, ALF saw to an extensive but sensitive renovation of the tower. Thanks to $80,000 from the foundation and 168,000 from the Coast Guard, rust and peeling paint were banished, and the tower was restored to its original 1852 appearance.
Yeah.
Now, the bricks were repointed and repaired before being repainted. The lantern's ironwork was restored and its window panes replaced, and the parapet floor was repaired. In addition, the iron railing and granite gallery encircling the lantern room were replaced. After the light's renovation, the ghostly keeper must feel right at home.
Oh,
The ghostly
the
keeper.
ghostly keeper. What is a parapet floor?
I have no idea. The parapet, I believe, is part of the lighthouse.
Okay, so it's a specific section of the
I think the
lighthouse's floor.
parapet might be the floor or the room area where the light is. I'm not sure if I'm being honest.
Okay.
In 2012, the American Lighthouse Foundation announced that it had licensed the keeper's dwelling at Owl's Head from the Coast Guard. It opened the dwelling later that year as an educational interpretive center. The former residence also serves as headquarters for the organization, which cares for more than 20 lighthouses throughout New England.
Mm.
In all, there were 31 keepers spanning from 1825 to 1889. Many families called this place home, and many families came and went. Or did they?
Or did they?
Whoa, boom, boom.
Dun dun dun.
31. I mean, not that's not, it's not,
Okay, 1825 to 1889.
that's like less
1989.
than 200 years. 31 keepers, though, that if you think of like a lifetime and all that and
Right,
generations,
right, right, right.
I mean, that's a lot of people.
That is a lot. Well,
Okay.
I'm trying to math, but I can't math.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you're trying. Now, Owl's Head Lighthouse is a place of outstanding beauty, and its history has been replete with remarkable and even mysterious events ever since it was built, following President John Quincy Adams' approval in 1824. Owl's Head Lighthouse is #1 on Coastal Living magazine's most haunted lighthouse list, and there are said to be at least two ghosts at the lighthouse. One is known as the Little Lady, and most frequently found in the kitchen or looking out the window. Doors slam, silverware rattles, but people say her presence brings a feeling of peace, and the other is thought to be the keeper from beyond the grave.
Mm.
Historian Bill O. Thompson,
Thompson.
no, there's no
There's no
P,
P. Oh my God.
says that he's often heard of mysterious footprints that appear after a rain or snowfall.
Ooh.
The prints of large workman's boots lead in only one direction up the ramp, up the stairs, and to the tower where the brass will actually be found polished and the lenses cleaned.
Shut up.
Sounds like a
A
sounds,
keeper.
sounds awesome.
That sounds amazing.
You
What?
you don't have to do it.
Right. It just continually keeps getting done by the ghostly keeper.
Yeah,
Great. I
I
love that.
I think that's a win-win. Now, quote, the typical keeper who lived back in these times was a dedicated worker. He loved his lighthouse and didn't want anything to ever go wrong with it. Keepers knew that if anything fouled up the equipment or disturbed the light, a disaster could occur. So they never wanted to leave their post. I think sometimes when they died, their spirits stayed behind, end quote.
Well,
Makes sense. It was their life.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. That's like literally their life, their work, their everything. They stayed there, they lived there, they did every bit and piece to keep that place running.
That's right.
And why wouldn't they leave? Or
Yeah.
what? Yeah, right? Oh my God.
Yes. Now, Denise Germain, a Coast Guard keeper's wife, said that one night her husband Andy got up to attend something outside. She rolled over and then felt her husband get back into bed. She asked him a question and, upon receiving no reply, turned over to find that the bed was empty, except for the indentation of a body next to her that was moving as if there was a person shifting in bed.
Stop it.
That's got to be super creepy.
So creepy. Like you can feel it, you can see it.
Well,
You're laying in bed, very
yes.
vulnerable position.
But what I'm saying is, like, you're alone out there in this lighthouse. It's just
Yeah.
you and, like, for most of the time, it was just like you and your spouse. But that means
Hmm.
sometimes there were kids involved. But you're like alone, and this place isn't like this isn't a populated city.
Yeah. You're completely alone.
You're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That would be
What?
so freaky.
Oh my God. I would freak out.
Yeah, I would probably die, and I'd be the next ghost. Now, in the morning, Andy told her that when he was going outside, he'd seen a quote, cloud of smoke hovering over the floor that passed through him and into the bedroom just before her experience.
Mm.
So it's possible he saw the ghost, you know,
Yeah.
which honestly, like, that's nice. That's,
Kind of reassuring maybe that you're not crazy.
well, yeah, yeah. Now,
Like like you finally see it, but you're like so freaked out from the night before, but then it's kind of relieving
that you're
to
not
have
crazy.
seen
Yeah,
that.
that you're not
Yeah.
crazy, that somebody else saw something as well.
Yeah.
Now, the keeper's house is also said to be haunted by an old, quote, sea captain, who is most likely a former keeper, although no one is really sure. According to local legend, one night the 3-year-old daughter of a keeper named Claire woke up her parents and announced, quote, fog's rolling in, time to put up the foghorn.
What? Just randomly she woke up and she was like, "Hey."
Yep. Now the parents had never brought up the subject with their daughter and had no clue where she'd even would have picked up the language of all this because, they don't this is only a certain way that they talk here.
Right.
Now, they soon discovered that she apparently had an imaginary friend who resembled an old sea captain.
Stop it.
He's been seen by other former keepers and is believed to be the one responsible for leaving the footprints in the snow outside the lighthouse and polished brass. Now, he also may be responsible for lowering the thermostat and keeping the place chilly, perhaps in an effort to conserve energy.
He's like, "Y'all are just wasting money out here.
That
What are
is
we doing?"
some old man New England activity right there. It sounds like my grandfather.
It does.
Another specter believed to still remain in the lighthouse is known as, we said earlier, the Little Lady. Now, the lady spirit is frequently seen in the kitchen. She seems to like to slam doors shut unexpectedly and rattle the silverware. Everyone who has encountered her has stated that her presence brought about a feeling of peace. Most agree that she is probably the wife of one of the many keepers of the lighthouse who loved the place so much that she decided never to leave.
Oh.
Malcolm Rouse, I think that's how you say that, was the last Coast Guard keeper before the lighthouse was automated in 1989. His wife insisted that she saw a person dressed in white standing at one of the windows. The Rouse's son also mentioned that on occasion, when he woke up, he would see a strange woman sitting in a chair in his bedroom.
Mm.
I do not want to see that.
So creepy.
Now, we did look for reviews of this location, and while there are hundreds and hundreds of glowing reviews, there's actually nothing paranormal.
Aw.
To be fair to the lighthouse, though, you can't stay the night here.
Mhm.
And today it's actually a park that's free to visit.
I wanna go.
It's so far away.
I know.
And even though there are no paranormal encounters to speak of, we could find on the internet, it is widely accepted as one of the most haunted lighthouses in the world.
Okay.
Now, what do you think? Could there still be some proud lightkeepers and the families that love them still hanging around, making sure that everyone has safe passage? Or is it just the past haunting those who live there through the modern age?
Mm.
It's one of these things where it's hard to give it's hard to be like it is or it isn't haunted
Right.
because
There's
like
not a lot of
you can't
evidence.
go there and like spend the night.
Right.
You can't go there and stay there.
Hmm.
But you can visit and it's a park, but normally like that's a daytime thing.
Yeah.
So,
They should open it up at night like they do the St. Augustine Lighthouse.
I mean that would be awesome.
Right.
It'd be kind of cool.
Should do that for every lighthouse. You can just go and do night tours, paranormal things.
Yeah, but it's such as it there's so much history here
Hmm.
and it is such an interesting story.
Yeah.
Um but it is hard to like really tie down what you think
Say yes or say no.
because in the modern era what are you supposed to do? You can't stay there
Right. You don't have the time and like just the opportunities that you have staying overnight
with
somewhere
everything
to
else.
do paranormal investigations, to like find the evidence and things like that.
Yeah.
And most of the things tend to happen in the evenings for paranormal activity. I'm not saying they don't during the day because obviously they can, but it just seems to be more of that time of day. And if it's a free park you can visit, they're probably going to close it at like dusk.
Yeah.
So people aren't out there and
More than
fall over
likely.
the
Yeah,
cliffs,
because when I
whatever.
say it's a free park to visit, I don't think it's like the kind of park like, with a playground in it that you can just go whenever.
Yeah, you just go visit and then probably have bits of it maybe into like a museum or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so there is one important thing though that we got to do,
Oh God,
and it is got to turn that one down a little bit. It's very loud.
it is.
Do you think the Owl's Head Lighthouse is haunted?
Yes. I think that there is so much history here. There's been a lot of people here. There's been accidents here. There is the energy, if you will, from the sea. There is
That's a
lots of
good point.
lots of things here that can contribute to it being haunted. Now, is it specific people? But I think that there is a perfect storm, if you will, at a lighthouse to have paranormal things
That's nice.
be there.
That was a
So
good
yes,
little wording.
thank you. What about you?
I actually do.
Okay.
There are so many families that have come in and out of here and have lived the entirety of their existence out in the middle of nowhere, just rough life, making it. And people, I could see people being attached in this life and the next to the point where they will stay around. I don't know if all the claims are legit, but I do believe that this is a good candidate for places where people's spirits have lingered.
Hmm.
Um, so again, I feel like its biggest downfall as far as when it comes to paranormal stuff is that you can't spend the night there. You can't do all that stuff. You're not going to be there for long periods of time.
Right.
And as far as I could tell, nobody's been out there to investigate or anything. I don't know if it's something they allow, but it's a Coast Guard place.
Yeah.
It's held down by the Coast Guard, so they're not going to let you go out there and do stuff like that.
No.
This is it's
You'd have to get
mm,
approval from like the military or you know
exactly,
what I mean? Like
exactly, and
that's a lot to go
that's
through.
going to be a little hard to do.
Yeah.
So I do, you do, which means it gets the big old seal of approval. One day I'll add a button on here because now that we're doing
To
these
do
live,
the
but
skadoosh?
skadoosh. People don't know that.
Skadoosh.
But this was a fun one. And this one,
It
honestly, it
was.
wasn't super long or anything, but I love the story. I love the dog. Um,
This was a very heartwarming story. Just the families that have lived there, the dog,
the people
the
who were
people who
supposed to be dead
survived. Yeah,
and they went on to have children and
it's
stuff.
so cool. I
I
love this
the
story.
only the only like terrible thing that happened was the son who got hit by a drunk driver and died.
Yeah,
Um,
this is terrible.
but it was I don't know, it was awesome.
It
Like
was awesome. It was a really good
I
story.
did like this story.
I love this one. It was so sweet.
But you guys can find us by looking us up. How about we
On
say that?
For the Booze everywhere.
Yeah, for
That's
if
right.
you look up for the Booze podcast, all of our stuff pops up,
All the things.
and you can find us there. It's not like we really post on social media that much, anyways.
No.
And if you want to, get a little more, come on over to Patreon, which
Patreon.
is for the booze, for the booze underscore podcast. I think I'll get it right one day.
For the Booze /
Yeah, I don't know.
Patreon. Something.
I can't remember.
We are off today.
Ask somebody from Patreon. They're in here. I don't know. But if you look us up, you'll find us everywhere.
That's
And
right. If you want to write in a listener story or a show suggestion, you can
yeah,
reach us at forthebooze12 at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Gmail.com. That's right.
And is that it?
I think so.
Well, I guess take us out then.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for listening. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye. I have nothing really to say. I just don't feel very good.
Sorry.
No, I gotta get out of here.
Oh, that was our episode. Hey, chat. We can talk to you now. Hi, T Noodle. I saw you came in. Hello, hello. And Silver, you came in right when we started, but I enjoyed watching your commentary while we were recording. So thank you. That was fun. And you said the Proppet floor is a design for a floor level. It's very interesting. I was going to look that up, so thank you. Appreciate that. Hello. So Stephen had to use the restroom quite badly, and he is coming back, and now it is my turn. I get to go because I have got to, surprisingly, go to the bathroom.
What?
Said surprisingly, wow, I have to go to the bathroom.
Bet that wasn't on your bingo cards.
Oh, shh.
But no, I meant for me. So did you guys enjoy that one? I know it wasn't very long. It was a very short story, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Uh, Anytime I can find stories that have something different, like the dog, I want to tell it because it's a great story. Thank you, Silver. Thank you. Um, and it's just, I really wish there were accounts of people who have been able to stay there, or paranormal groups that have investigated or something, because I really do feel like you'll be listening to the episode at work. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Well, you have to listen to it on YouTube because the actual podcast version won't come out until Monday. But yeah, I just wish there were more opportunities that this place could be opened up for people to come in and like investigate. I think it would be awesome because this place seems like it would actually be haunted, or at least something. Something would be there, in my opinion. I didn't really get to read any of these comments while we were doing this. Um, exactly. I seen this comment from earlier. It's haunted in a good way. It sounds like, yeah, exactly. The people who would be haunting this place are people who actually cared about it, which is nice. It's different from a lot of the stories that we tell where it's like people were murdered here and bad things happened. Bad things really didn't happen here. It was like good things, people love this place because this was their home. Like kids grew up here. So, I mean, it's such a different perspective of a paranormal story than we usually get.
Yes, absolutely. It's
Y-
not very haunted and
It's not
traumatized
haunted.
and
It's not haunted in a scary way.
right.
It's even the little girl who had the sea captain ghost friend.
Hmm.
It was like a good friendship.
A good imaginary friend,
Yeah,
just a bestie.
he wasn't there like choking her out in her sleep or anything.
Or like traumatizing her and scaring her all the time. And
Because we've had those family hauntings where the spirits have been like violent,
yeah, oh,
and
absolutely.
this wasn't like that. Everything here it seems to be like the families from the past whose spirits stuck around
Hmm.
are continuing to stick around to keep an eye on the families of the future.
Yeah, it's
It's a
so sweet,
That's
honestly.
awesome,
It
dude.
is so
I
cool.
want more. I want more paranormal like this.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
this really pays a tribute to like that paranormal story of like, your family member passed away, but they're still there looking out for you.
Yeah.
And while all these people might not be family by blood, they're family in a different way. It's like a camaraderie of people who, a very specific group of people who do this kind of thing.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure that leaving the modern world behind to go live isolated in a lighthouse with your children, it can't be an easy life.
It can't. You're dealing with seas and storms, and
Yeah. And you're
it's a
taking care of a
hard
lighthouse.
life. It's a hard life. And
I'd
to
do it.
leave all of your things to go out there, and especially people with kids, and move your family out there, like it's a lot. And you grow to be super tied to this place. So I could absolutely see that people stick around.
Well, and at the beginning, I said as of the 2020 census, there was 1,500 people. Think about all the other times throughout history people lived here.
Right.
There's nothing here.
No,
You know,
literally nothing.
this is tiny,
Hmm.
tiny, tiny little place.
Yeah.
So it would just be, it'd be difficult. But apparently, some people really loved it.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's just a great story. Honestly, I could go on and on because even though it wasn't the most action-packed filled, it wasn't the longest story. I'm glad that we finally got one that has a little more positivity.
Yeah. It's a heartfelt, just good feeling story.
Yeah, because
I loved it so
all we ever
much.
read about is terrible stuff.
I know. I
It's
know.
just always like, oh, somebody was brutally murdered here, or sometimes worse,
Yeah.
or like the atrocities of history went down
You
here.
get into the asylums and the things that they did back in
Yeah,
the day, and it's just
and this was different.
terrifying.
This was different. This was, people living
Yeah.
and enjoying their life and
Loved it.
liking it so much they stuck around.
Hmm.
So I really love this one. Exactly.
It is a great
Exactly.
piece of
And you're
history.
close enough, you could go see it. We can't.
Yeah, you're super close.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've like I said though, I've been to Maine a bunch of times. I have no idea where Owl's Head is, because Owl's Head is a town.
Is it a town or is it a county?
No, Knox. It's in Knox County,
Knox County. That's
but
right.
Owl's Head is the town. I mean, it's incorporated, so it is a town. But
Yeah.
man, 1,500 people. That's like nothing.
That is like
So
nothing.
like when you go to town, which is probably a street with three stores, you could see every person in town there at once, and it still wouldn't feel overcrowded.
Hmm.
Think about
That's
that.
crazy.
You go to
That's
Walmart
so
and there's
crazy.
1,500 people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's wild.
Easily.
But yeah, so that ends us. I guess I'm gonna have to write a new one for next week because I had one, but I don't know what happened
You
to
might
it.
have to search and find it, maybe. I don't know. You put all that work into making an episode. Now it's just gone.
Yeah, it is what
That's
it
stupid.
is. It's fine. Would be the first time we lost an episode along
Yeah,
the
I know.
way. 50? Your town has a pop. Is it an
I'm
actual
sorry. What?
is it an actual town though? Is it is it
Yeah.
is it incorporated? Hey Tina.
What? 50 people? Can you explain, please?
I
That's
mean,
weird.
you don't have to explain it. I'm just curious, is it an actual town? Is it incorporated? Does it have a post office?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, because they say that to become a town, you have to have a post office.
Right. That's like the markings of you are a town.
Because like when I was a teenager, I had a girlfriend and she lived in this little town of like probably like 100 people,
Hmm.
but it wasn't a real town. It was
Like a subsection, maybe?
yeah.
Okay.
It's a town now, finally.
Okay. Interesting.
Let's see, maybe 2 miles outside of Tyrone. Oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I could live in a town of 50 people. I could live in a
I
town
would
of
love that.
0 people.
100%. Absolutely.
Just just pack me up and send me out into the middle of nowhere.
I would love that. That would be
Shit, we
great.
were plotting out our new home spot up on top of a huge mountain yesterday.
What is census what?
Designated.
Okay. I can't. I'm like,
So it's not really a town, but it is a town.
okay.
It's recognized when they do the census reports, but it's not officially a town.
Oh,
We've talked about census designated places before.
it's super weird. I don't know. I've always just like where we live now is small town compared to the towns that we've lived in before.
There's a lot of people here though.
There is a lot of people here, but it's such a small town feel here
Well,
compared to anywhere else
it
I've
is
ever
a
been.
it is it is a small town, but it's got a high population, and the reason for that is because we live in a bowl of mountains. We
Mhm.
live in the bowl, and you can only build up like a little ways up onto the mountain. So
Yeah.
while that's the thing about Utah is that it has more undeveloped land than I've ever seen, but it's land that they'll never develop because it would, I guess you could
You
live,
could, but
but
it should be a crime to
well,
do
no, no,
so.
no, 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 it's dangerous because what about during
Landslides
landslides
and
and
yeah.
avalanches?
Mhm.
Because we have avalanches here.
Yeah.
So, like, if you built your house on the side of a mountain in the winter and it gets too warm or something, like, you're screwed.
Yeah. We've seen posts from people who just live like kind of up on the side of a mountain
And
and they
they,
have flood like their entire house gets flooded.
yeah, because of
It's scary.
especially when the snow melts.
Yeah. It's
So,
super scary.
yeah, so it's just weird coming from a flat place where there's just houses as far as the eye can see.
Mhm.
The only place Florida doesn't build is in the water.
Yeah.
And
And
sometimes
sometimes they
that's not
do.
even the case.
And sometimes they do. Yeah.
But we do have an appointment we have to get to today for our other son.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to get out of here. But this was good. I enjoyed this one.
This was
I
amazing.
really hope I feel better by tomorrow. I don't feel good at all.
Sorry,
My
baby.
head is killing me.
Let's go get you some medicine.
I'm not gonna take any medicine. You know that.
You don't want Excedrin?
Okay, I'll take some Excedrin.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have some?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You have that fake Excedrin.
Still works
I
just
want
the
I
same.
want the real stuff.
Oh,
Hey,
yes.
this is odd. Apparently, I closed out YouTube at some point.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how I'm supposed to stop this live. That's strange.
That is weird.
But yeah, what? Are we
Huh.
still live?
Hello?
Can you guys still hear us? I have no idea what just happened here.
That's super weird. Go to the channel, maybe?
No, because it should be. I'm just clicking everything.
Silver says, yeah, we're still here.
I don't understand. It's because this right here should be on go live. I don't know. I'll just shut the computer off. It'll work. I have
This
no
is so
I
weird.
have no idea what happened.
I don't either.
But yeah, we're gonna get out of here so we can go make this appointment, and I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be a little later tomorrow because I
yeah,
work in the morning.
we'll be back to probably like around 4:30 again.
Yes. All week. Yay.
Well, for the rest of the week, it's like 2 days, 3 days. Well, I don't even know what today is.
A
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It is Wednesday.
You are live, Tina says.
Yay.
Goodbye, T Noodle. Goodbye. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what we're watching yet, but we'll be here. So
We doing something.
have a good rest of your afternoon, or for some of you, evening.
That's right.
Tina, I'm talking to you. And thank you guys for being here. And yep, catch